Hi, hello, and welcome to Lunar Lounge Series brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Pelosi. I'll be your oracle today. The moon is new. Well, I'm sent to deliberate the findings for the new moon in Aries. It's happening, I believe, at 5 p.m., 1700 hours. I think 5 or 6, depending on Greenwich Mean Time, you know. And it's at 0 degrees Aries, so that's a powerful new moon. And Aries is about the self-identity. It's also about the spirit, karma, life path, destiny. It's also about taking leadership. Now, it's not always about leading, being out in front. Sometimes the leadership is of yourself. The belief that an idea can be brought to fruition, the belief that you can go forward towards something, etc. We have the Hangman in the Temperance card. So there's some kind of healing here. We found salvation, redemption. And we might be moving into twin flame situations. We might be getting a home, taking out a mortgage. With the 3 of Cups and the King of Pentacles, this could be a mortgage approval, loan approval. Because there would have been a wait with the Hangman. And I think we were pre-approved and we're waiting on things to work themselves through. We have to go through all these difficult things. I'm hearing documentation. Somebody might be applying for a mortgage here or did apply for a mortgage, and now we're in a holding pattern. It's gonna work out well with the Temperance card here. There's a lot of things to confront with this Moon card. That's one thing I'm picking up. But the general energy for this new moon, we're planting seeds, starting, beginning a cycle of spirit, karma, life path, destiny. We're coming into understanding of our life path for real and who we are, what's alive in us in terms of our drive, desires, ambitions, our vision, our direction, how we call out to life, to the future, how we engage with the world in respect to the counterbalance or counteraction or contrast and compare of our self-identity. And it's a cycle that's starting for a year. So really what's happening is aspects of the self, aspects of our leadership, aspects of, it's really self-leadership, self-governance, self-mastery, self-regulation, self-discipline. These things are going to emerge from the depths of the soul. We might also be wrapping up some dark journey of the soul that we don't even know, dark night of the soul that we don't even know about. Because what we're having here is we've had a long-term plan, but we're becoming detached because we're running out of patience. But as we run out of patience, things will emerge from the depths of the soul. These are for, you know, or we're getting a mortgage and we're waiting. Because we have the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Pentacles. That's a family home. It can also be like a multi-generational mortgage. So like in Japan and some Asian countries, it might not be Japan, I think it's China, they have 100-year mortgages, and one person would think, how do you do that? Well, you have 3-4 generations of the same family in the same home. I'm catching that. So for this, grant me a moment. before this new moon in Aries, so this new moon in Aries is going to set off a year-long trajectory of moving into our life's calling. It's really moving into the space that we were destined for this lifetime. And over the next 30 days, up until about the 20th of May, we're going to be having an expansion and a completion. It's going to be somewhat precarious and prickly. So there may be some difficulty around the home, or difficulty around a union, or difficulty around receiving forgiveness, or difficulty around receiving salvation. It's going to be the same energy, different strokes for different folks. This could be salvation. This could be a twin flame relationship. This could also be a home. This is the Four of Wands. It's going to be prickly expansions, but it's with the Four of Swords. So Nine of Swords, Four of Swords, that's just waiting, having to wait, and the waiting is anguish. That's clarified by the Hangman. So that's 2 or 3 situations for waiting, but it is positive. It's a blessing. Cup runneth over, approval, access. Not getting given access, but getting an approval. Yes. This is also franchise, so it could have been pre-approval with this King of Pentacles here. So moving into our space in this life is what I'm hearing. So I'm just going to call the video that and move on. So let's just do the expansion now. And normally it would be another video, but on the cardinal months, it's a free thing. And I'm not even going to go over to another site. We're just going to stay here, but clear line of delineation, demarcation. Okay, let's do it. All right. So La Temperanza, this temperance is saying that we heal, we get approved, we qualify, we're able to, I'm hearing the word get accredited. So again, different structure, different folks, same energy. This Ten of Pentacles is in the past, so we might have had to build something up, or locate something, or finish something, complete something, and it's something that's going to kick off dividends for the rest of the life, probably into the next lifetime. It can be generational, it can be a legacy, it can be a place of business. We have the Ten of Pentacles, King of Pentacles here. Yeah, we're itching to move to broader horizons with the Page of Wands here, kind of taking a stand. We might need to put in an offer and compete, beat everybody else out. We do get it. The Queen of Cups is another indication of home. So we need to fight for our happiness here. And we do the perfect thing, the right thing, it comes into alignment. So whatever happens is fair. And we would have had to compete. So we might have had to make an emotional appeal. I'm hearing that's a letter to the current homeowner. But it also is like psychic investigation. In another sense, it would be plumbing the depths of the soul, coming to discernment and clarity. It would be a lot of contemplation, meditation. It doesn't even have to be meditation. It could be interpretation. Queen of Swords, Four of Swords, that's interpreting something, considering something, having to take stock, not really inventory, but take stock of a situation, kind of look over the past with discernment. And this is a place where you kind of use your emotionality, which doesn't have to be pleasant or positive, to also inform the decision, not just the facts, but the feelings. This is balancing intuition with intellect. We're waiting on getting access to something that we've built or qualified, and we will get it. The thing comes to an end. I'm hearing closing of escrow. There's a house here, but what this is, that would be like only a tiny portion of whoever is watching this. Somebody here might be graduating this year. He started out as the king, but he was looking into the future. So right now with the current energy, somebody starts out as a student, but they quickly become a queen. That means it's the skill set. And they're also an adept, and they really have found their place with the Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords here. Everything works out perfectly, comes into alignment, and we have solidification, rectification here, verification, and adjustment. So everything, all the P's and Q's, all the boxes are checked. But it's not about a current working. It's something that's already been done, and now it's paying a dividend, or it's gonna pay a dividend. I'm trying to take this energy and explain it in multiple ways. Yeah, we've bossed up in some kind of way. So now our position is kind of cemented. We really can't lose it unless we throw it away, because we're able to take strides in life now. We're able to take strides in life now with the King of Wands and the Page of Wands. This thing we're trying to qualify for, this thing we're trying to wrap up, complete. It's a very happy movement. It brings joy. We do need to get to higher ground. Again, I'm hearing somebody finishing a degree or buying a house. So this would be having to get all the paperwork, all the documentation, having to prove with paperwork or prove skills. This could also be defending ideas here. Queen of Swords with the Page of Wands, that's defending your ideas. I'm not getting it yet, but somebody could be defending a dissertation. This is more of a thesis thing. There'd be more kings with the dissertation. I'm also really strongly still detecting this home situation. There might need to be some home improvements with the King of Wands and the 10 of Wands, but it's also like a difficult process. I'm hearing there are multiple offers. I'm hearing that you had to pull funding from a couple sources, or maybe one source didn't work out. I'm hearing that there was a need to get to higher ground, evolve. Okay, so if this was a school situation, you started out kind of with no knowledge, but the desire to be in that industry, like maybe you want to become a psychotherapist or something. So it took a while to evolve in the philosophy and the education, knowledge, intellect, reasoning, communication, knowledge-based language structure. All of that needed to evolve, but now you're in the industry, you're in the, you're part of the peer group. You might be applying to boards, things of that nature. I'm not seeing residency. I'm not seeing any of that stuff. I'm hearing that we're now in a position where we can take off, and we do have some kind of vision, grand vision actually. And now we're finally able to see the future in sight. That's another indication of the Temperance card, because it's the 9th house, or Sagittarius is the 9th house. If you want to go astrologically, great, but the zodiac, or if you want to go zodiac, great, but the astrological influence because the Temperance card is, yes, it represents Sagittarius for the zodiac, but if you look at the astrology of it, it's actually Mercury exalted in the 6th house, usually of Virgo. That's what the Temperance card means, absolute discernment. The 9th house would actually talk about, for some reason I'm hearing the Hierophant, but the Hierophant represents Jupiter in Pisces or the sun in Sagittarius. So when the sun is in the Sagittarius or the 9th house, you can begin to see the future. You can see broader, bigger than where you are right now. Your higher mind comes into contact, because in the 8th house, which typically is a moon card, you would be, yes, the moon card is Pisces, but it's also the sun in the 8th house or the moon in the 12th house of Scorpio, which would be a Sagittarius rising. For some reason, that's relevant. Yeah, but there is everlasting contentment here. It's like a happily ever after kind of thing. Like I said, something that lasts the rest of the life. And it goes from the 10 of cups to the 8 of cups, which means you get given access and then you have to kind of make it your own. And it's clarified by the world card, which talks about graduating. But it could also talk about broadening your horizons, a new chapter, because one just closed out. And it's not necessarily a new beginning. It's finally closing out an old chapter and moving on from said chapter. Because now we're a master. And this is doctoral level now. I'm picking that up finally. But it could also mean having to withdraw within and wait, or stand in a decision, so having to be sure from the inside out. This would be needing to have a great grand vision. And this would be needing to fuel this vision, manifest from this vision. This is somebody that can put an end to an entire situation, or they're militant, or they're masterful. Something's finally over here. This is the third 10. Something's finally over here. I'm not detecting bad energy, especially with the Magician and the King of Swords. It means somebody, first of all, is a master. Second of all, it took a long time to master something. Somebody's defending their thesis or dissertation. Not every country's universities have to defend a thesis, but you usually do have to defend your dissertation, especially if it's your first doctorate. Somebody could be completing a research trial, but it didn't start out with a lettered professional. It started out with somebody petitioning for access, petitioning for entry into. It literally felt like somebody trying to get approved for a loan, a mortgage, because there was a dream house. But now I'm picking up here completing research trials or defending a dissertation. Excuse me, I hate to make that sound. Normally I just suck on a lemon and it goes away, but I'm out of lemons and I was so busy, I couldn't go do grocery shopping. I hate being without lemons. It really agitates me. I love lemons so much. Also, I'm hearing that it took a long time for somebody to get pregnant and they did have to do in vitro, but normally in vitro is when the Imperatrice, the Empress and the Devil come out together. That's in vitro. So the Empress already came out. Somebody here knew exactly how to get something off the ground. It was a degree program because their strategy pays off, and they're able to prove receipts. So if you are defending, yeah, because we get provided access here. So the thesis was successful, or I keep saying thesis by accident, and I'm trying to say dissertation. So we get the loan, we defend the dissertation, we get news of the pregnancy. It's not really news of the pregnancy, it's successful insemination is what I'm hearing. And conception, insemination, that word is bigger if you're an alchemist, if you're an occult technician, an occultist. But yeah, of course, usually for the average person, insemination means you get knocked up. But it actually talks about because feelings are magnetic, thoughts are electric. So it's saying that from the universe, you're able to summon a thought and it's magnetized to you, and then there's a spark and it starts to manifest through your aura and your physical body. You might have been the one chosen to bring an idea into the world. It's kind of like when you're a magician, a musician, and like the same lyrics come to like 3 or 4 different artists, and whoever, you know, writes the song lyrics and produces it first is the one that puts it out into the world, right? Like a lot of times people will get the same idea at the same time, but only one person beats everybody else out. Same thing with the house. A lot of people might fall in love with a house during the first open house, and then multiple offers come in. I'm also hearing that somebody recently became an accredited investor. Their net worth got to be high enough and they were challenged. So maybe initially they got poo-pooed on. Yeah, I'm hearing that initially when we tried to do this or when we shared ideas, somebody shit on us. And we were like, fuck you, homie, excuse my language. We were like, dude, you don't think I can do it? Watch me. We had to bring some order over chaos. And it was, I wouldn't say hatred, but it was kind of like, nah, 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 you're not good enough. Nah, 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 you'll never. Or vai fanculo, watch me. Nah, 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 nah. Yeah. Okay. Y'all want to talk your shit? Go for it. You can just eat my dust. Watch me, Holmes. Okay, because we do need to make a great proclamation or get a final decision or have something audited or ring the alarm or blow the whistle or push the red button. And what I'm getting here is finally this is ours, whether it's a degree, whether it's getting admitted to a society, because different countries do different things. Like here in America, there's the boards or passing the bar, but the passing the bar literally would be the emperor, because the bench and the bar, we have the bench here. So in other countries, it's applying to the guild or getting admitted to the society. Like some countries call here it's a bar association. In other countries, it's like the society of law professionals or this or that. This depends on, because you know, a lot of people in India and United Arab Emirates and Australia and Malaysia and Canada and America watch the channel, a little bit of UK. So it just depends on wherever you are, darling. So I'm hearing somebody talking about all the nights they waited, all the nights they struggled. So it was a long time in coming, a long time, yeah. And I'm not doing that again. Like the grueling nature of it is over. And that could be when you're, Dude, if getting into a mortgage is barely something you do barely by the skin of your chinny chin chin, that you're $20,000, $50,000 over your budget for the house anyways. You're buying too much house for your budget. When you go through loan approval, it shouldn't be that difficult. And I'm saying this as a former loan processor. I did loans to fund my credentials in finance. When I was 17, 18, I sold mortgages. So I don't know why this is coming through, but it's my opinion that if it's too tight with the documentation for a loan, you're $20,000, $50,000 over budget for a primary residence. Now, if you're an investor, you need more savvy and sophistication in order to acquire financing, but I'm not going to go that deep into those principles right now, but I have to say it because I kept feeling it. I felt like my heart kind of calmed down a little bit. So that was relevant for probably for like 1 or 2 people watching. Okay. Yeah, I mean, because the Hierophant is sitting here. So that's institutions, that's underwriting, that's approval. It literally would be institutional approval, underwriting, true underwriting. And it would be that you need to wait a little bit. And it's a prickly process because there might have been a discrepancy or the need to prove something. Like you might have said that you were this or that, and then they said, okay, well, we need an extra year of docs. Normally, you need to have 2 years worth of documentation. They might have said, we need 5 years. Listen, homie, this isn't coming together just perfectly, or we don't trust you. We think you're lying. So you need to give us receipts. And we were able to do it because we knew the mystery, but literally we needed to prove something. This is having to prove something. Oh, you say you have this skill, prove it. I remember one time I was getting a job and the job didn't have anything to do with typing, but they made me sit down at the computer. Oh, okay, they didn't believe that I typed 120 words per minute. So they made me sit down and prove it. And I did type 120 words per minute, but with some typos. And literally the hiring manager pulls out a chair and sits me at the computer, prove it. Okay, ho, I'll do that. Fuck you, by the way, but okay. So I'm picking up on that. Yeah. They asked for receipts, more receipts than normal. They drew a hard line and a hard boundary. Well, it might have just been a competitive thing and they didn't want to put that's the same thing with, some schools are very competitive. So like if you're applying to school, or you might be going from a master's program into like med school, or you might be going, I'm also hearing architecture, like somebody's going into a very prestigious program. Also, somebody might be getting accused of something that they need to defend, because the whole reading started out with a rigorous defense, or it was like you had to shit on everybody else for this opportunity. You had to be a beast and knock everybody out of the way. Again, same energy, different examples for different situations. But okay, with this Queen of Wands and previously King of Wands, and previously Page of Wands, and before we had the 7 of Wands and the 6 of Wands. We did it, and the devil's not here. So, because the devil, if it's negated, meaning softened, and the devil brings toxicity or negative influence unless it's negated. Okay, so the devil didn't even come out yet. It will. I'm gonna stop at Aries. So whenever Aries comes out, I'm gonna stop. But the devil may come out. It might not even. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me be quiet. I'm getting ahead of myself. So something has happened. We're approved. We've made it. We were able to defend something. We were able to compete properly. What we do is, I'm hearing, we hold the field. So we shit on everybody else and knock everybody out the park. Yeah, wish fulfillment here. So this is some, also, this is a little bit of witchcraft, a natural born witch. So if you're hoping, wishing, and praying for something, the universe is conspiring to help you. And if there was a homeowner, they love you. Also, somebody on the review committee or the panel or the whatever, somebody is also applying to a program, but they already have their bachelor's. This is a little bit about education, but it's also, if it's not about education, it's still something institutional. And if it's not something institutional, it's still institutional, but then it would involve an official type of community. A community, like me, I'm in a running club and I'm in my, because I live in the Northwest, I'm in my city's chapter, but this running club is all over the world, right? So something kind of organized, something formalized. Does that make sense? So again, let me rattle those off. It does feel like a committee. Grant me a moment. My little thing is reminding me to pray. We are having to wait for a decision and approval. The Hierophant is clarifying the Five of Swords, Two of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. That's waiting on somebody else to judge or discern or deliberate. It does come through the approval. It was somewhat prickly because it was a make or break type of situation with the Five of Swords and the Two of Swords, Ace of Swords, clarified by the Hierophant. The Hierophant negates the energy of the Five of Swords because it's bringing order to chaos. The fives tend to bring in chaos, especially multiple. But the Temperance and the Hierophant, or any Venusian energy, since this is Venus in Aquarius, would negate that Five of Swords. And so really what I'm detecting is it was a decision that would have made or break. So you had to get that loan approved, you had to defend that dissertation. And if it's not a loan or, you know, some type of, it's institutional, and it could be a club, a group, but it's very formally organized. And the Emperor and the Hierophant are kind of similar, except one talks about longevity and one talks about kind of self-orientation. The Emperor, this the empire, you have your own empire, or you have a piece of a greater empire, especially when the Hierophant comes out. And the Hierophant would talk about something either global or, because the Emperor talks about hunter-gathering, and then it's now tradition and societal with the Hierophant. So when you go from hunting and gathering to finding a time, space, location, and starting to create generations in that environment, it goes from the Emperor evolves into the Hierophant. And for some reason that's relevant. Now it talks about the lineage and the bloodlines, but it would also just talk about the society. And it is also telling me a little bit about some kind of group, because we had to plant a lot of seeds or make a bid of some kind. And there was some exchange back and forth with boundaries. We were trying to discuss terms maybe. With a mortgage, you can barely, maybe 1/4% you can negotiate, not much. And that would usually be an increase of, okay, so in a mortgage, you can negotiate 1/4% with every 20 points on your credit. And it's a accumulated credit. So if you're going with the 3 bureaus It's the average between all three bureaus. Sometimes they'll throw one bureau out, usually experience. So they'll use Equifax and TransUnion, and they'll combine them together and divide by 2, and that's your credit score. So even if you have really high with this one and you're 30 points lower with this one, basically, that's coming through, honey. I'm just channeling here. But yeah, if you want a lower interest rate, you need to increase your credit score 20 points minimum, and they'll take it down 0.25% your rate. There's ways to do that. There's some apps you can download that will do some fancy footwork, and it's not going to be significant unless there's something you can have added to your credit report. There is a way to get things added to your credit report in less than 10 days, and you can do what's called a forced refresh, because every 30 to 45 days is when your score refreshes, unless there's what's called an adverse event. That one it shows up pretty quickly. Once it's reported, 72 hours is on your credit report, but that's an adverse event. If you miss a credit card payment, that's 50 points. If you miss a car payment, that's, if you miss a credit card payment, that's 25 points. If you miss a car payment, that's 50 points. If you miss a mortgage payment, that's 100 points. So you could be 60 days late on your mortgage. You're not going to get a loan, number one, not for 2 years, probably 5. Also, in 60 days of a late payment, your score could drop 200 points. Now, I'm saying that the reverse, so now that you understand the positive, because it's harder to get 100 points added onto your credit report than it is to lose it. I don't know why I'm talking like this, but it's coming through, darling. Now, let's talk about college for a second. If you don't disclose an institution of learning that you went to, there's something called the National Student Clearinghouse, and it's for all of North America. I think they're in Canada and North America. Don't quote me on that. But I know a lot of the medical colleges, it's the same. Canada and the US talk to each other in terms of medical school. There are even some testing proctors for like medical tests. There's multiple. There's the MCAT, which is the entrance exam. Then there's the USMLE first year, USMLE step 2. They just shifted it over now, where the USMLE for your clinicals, when you're going through your first 2 years of med school, for your USMLE, they're no longer giving a grade. They're just giving pass or fail, or I think it's, and then in Canada, I think it's satisfactory, unsatisfactory. So your USMLE step 2 is the only one coming out with a score. All of these things are coming through. I'm hearing all of this, okay? But it started out with us haggling over an interest rate. You know, me, I have a pretty lofty ambition because I never thought I'd go back to school. Like, it's kind of like, it was only if only, I told God, only if only. I'm doing a dual program, and I'm in no rush, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I really don't care. It's more now where like the pain to not do it is greater than the pain to do it. But I tried to go to school when I was 17. I flunked out with a math problem, which has been resolved for over nearly 2 decades. But then 10 years ago, I tried to go back to school. It didn't work out. And now I'm trying to do it again. For what? I don't know, because I'm in the top 1% of my field. You know, I'm definitely a GOAT. I'm definitely a Grand Tarot Master. I'm definitely a skillful counselor. And I'm not even, well, somebody's haggling because they might need to also not just defend their statements, but defend their plans, defend their ambitions. Somebody might say, don't you think that's a little ambitious? Shouldn't you calm down a little bit? Don't ever poo on a person's dreams. Don't ever yuck somebody's yum. If they're not harming anybody, shut the F up. That's really rude. It's really rude. So this is what I'm catching. Yeah, they said speak with authority. Okay, the devil finally came out with the emperor, so we're done. Yeah, it's because we're gonna be scaring people. We're a beast. We're a different type of boss than anybody has ever seen. And there is one or two, it's a collective, but there's one or two people in this collective that are kind of like dictatorial or tyrannical. They don't want to see things change. They want things to happen a certain way. They want you to go about a certain way. Somebody here was micromanaging. Somebody here was nitpicking. Somebody here was harshly scrutinizing. We're great. We're in a perfect position. Nobody's trying to tear us down, but they are second guessing everything that we're saying, not in a way where it's Eight of Swords second guessing, which is the second guessing card. It's that they're critiquing every single statement. Every single statement needs to be explained. Every single statement needs to be verified. Every single statement needs to be proven. Whether that's on a loan application, whether that's defending a dissertation, whether that's applying to the boards. Somebody here is interviewing for a postgraduate school, and their ambitions, their statement of academic purpose seems funny. And somebody here is not believing the statements that we're making. And they're being somewhat antagonistic or yeah, they're gassing us up. This is not a smoke screen. This is gassing us up. There could be 5 or 7 people on a review panel or something of that nature, or an admissions committee, or the dissertation committee. And we have great enthusiasm, and it upsets somebody. We're really in love with whatever we're trying to accomplish. Like, we have all of these different experiences. You see how this is? Yeah, you see how this is behind, meaning this is the support of this king. So this king has all these different experiences that has made him who he is today. And somebody's like, hater. We did have the 5 of Swords. One stupid ass little hoe here is a shit talker. And hey, you may be a professional critic. I mean, but it means that they've been in their industry too long and they haven't evolved with the time. They've become a dinosaur, archaic. I'm not tired. I hit a wall, so I had to take a nap. And I'm getting back up at 2:30 in the morning to finish my work. Somebody here is sowing bad seeds, but they're not able to do it that successfully. But everybody is really excited, and there's one naysayer. This is like, there might have been a jury. I mean, the Hierophant and the Lovers card, if it's not a marriage ceremony, it's a jury. Okay. There's one person giving a hold up. The 2 of Swords was out too, so that's deliberation. I'm hearing the word Juilliard. So if that's true, because I heard it before as well. When I heard it, every time I looked at the 8 of Cups. So that was somebody moving away from home to go to Juilliard. You could also be going to Berkeley, not Berkeley in California. There's a Berkeley in Boston. It's a music school. Berklee. If you haven't thought of that, look into Berkeley. I'm hearing Yale School of Divinity for Sacred Theology. Well, hey, honey, if you're going Ivy or prestigious, good on you. That's a lot of money, though. It's like 50, 60% more money than it needs to be. You could also be, because I didn't see the Five of Pentacles or the Six of Pentacles, so there's no scholarship, there's no financial assistance. So you would be taking on debt, but you would get approved, you would get in. Be fearless. And then this naysayer, this vaifanculo, you know, this person who can go fuck themselves is what I'm saying. You need to have compassion because people show up as they are. Hurt people. Disbelievers don't believe in anybody else. And a disbeliever becomes more uncomfortable when they see a person with great enthusiasm. It makes them uncomfortable to see somebody believe in a bigger, brighter, and better, believe in the future, to co-create with the universe, to have hope, faith, and optimism. It's a threatening thing to see when you've had a life plagued by difficulty and you've had to struggle for everything. Golden crown. The universe is conspiring to help us, and it's somebody up. Yeah, we know our self-worth, and we are going through a new chapter, and it's somebody here, yeah, hope. Somebody here is like, they don't understand why. They want to bring us down a notch or two. They want to see us sweat. And okay, ho, listen, Mr. Motherfucker, I don't know how to explain this to you. Yeah, okay, maybe you want to see us sweat because we're so excited and whatnot. Here's the deal, though. If the opportunity gets granted to us, we're going to have to put sweat equity into it. Just because the enthusiasm is summoning the opportunity out of the universe doesn't mean we don't need to take advantage of the opportunity. Like, for instance, we may have to compete in the marketplace with 5 other people to start a business, or we may have to beat out at 20 other applicants for a role and position. Then once we get in this role and position, we have to uproot our life a little bit. We have to take a different route to work. We may have to be paying, you know, I remember when I was driving, gas was like $400 a month, but I was driving a lot, especially for work, because I was in sales and I was working in the field and things of that nature. But like, say you were working from home, you were working remotely, and now all of a sudden you're in the field and you have to drive around, you know, that's a lot of energy that you're not used to putting out. Whether or not it's doable or not, it's not the point. You weren't doing that before, so doing it now is an adjustment. That's sweat. Maybe you don't sweat all year, but maybe for the first month you sweat. Also, when you're in a new role, a new position, a new school or whatever, like me, I recently changed my schedule, and girl, I failed so hard the first couple of weeks because I'm a leisurely asshole. I do not rush. I do not wake up with an alarm clock. My ass a iniguan rush. Okay, but I was dropping so many balls the first couple of weeks, and I was always falling asleep and having to take naps, and I could not keep my eyes open. I was tired, but now I'm used to my new schedule, and I feel like a boss, right? Same kind of deal. If you get a new job, you're gonna have to find childcare, you're gonna have to have all these extra gas expenses, and you may have a lot of money coming in from your new position, but it's still an adjustment. That's called having to sweat for something. So this naysayer, this hope, behind the passing dark clouds, the sun still shines bright. Holy Spirit, please guide me to see this situation with deeper clarity, love, and understanding. The associated chakra is the sacral. Yeah, we're feeling ourselves. We're secure in the self. We found our place in this world. And when you're answering your calling and when you're living your purpose, it burns away. It purifies any type of negative karma. And another person doesn't understand that because they want to see us struggle a little bit. That I hate those kinds of hoes when they want to make things difficult for another person. That's a sinister person. That's somebody that has a sickness and illness in their soul, man. I don't understand that. Feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, afraid, and defeated are a few of the symptoms you can experience when passing through an emotional storm. All is not as it seems. The passing storm will uncover suppressed emotional energy that is in need of clearing and balancing. As challenging as it may seem, see the passing gray clouds as an opportunity to grow, learn, heal, and transform limiting behavioral patterns and beliefs. It is not about staying positive through the storm. It is about understanding and truly seeing the imbalances and wounds within you that attract this energy to your space. Clouds do pass and will continue to pass until you learn to truly see the underlying message and lesson. Only then will you transcend the fear and irritability of these challenging cycles. Once you're able to understand your magnetic connection to the challenges that surround you and heal those imbalances with love, storms will cease to affect as they once did. For now, there is stillness and hope in knowing that the sun still shines behind the passing dark clouds. It is then through this renewed clarity, inner knowing, and strength that you will be able to manifest a life of choice. For no one will, for no more will you see passing storms as a destructive force to be reckoned with, but rather an opportunity to evolve into higher states of conscious understanding. It is through this act alone that you are reborn to a world of wondrous manifestations and fulfilled dreams. Holy Spirit, please guide me to see the situation with deeper clarity, love, and understanding. It's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. This was the new moon in Aries. So like I said, our life is getting right. We're going to come into our blessings and abundance in this next year, but we're going to lay the foundation, the groundwork, because a new moon is a new energy, but it's on a soul level, okay? It doesn't always manifest out in the world. And even if it does take a physical manifestation, it's about things that are going on in the soul versus things that are going on in the world. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. If anything that I said, darling, resonates deeply with you, go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, leave a donation, take a class, anything of that nature. You know, I'm on all the social platforms at Ablosi Ma, okay? And then take good care of yourself until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dhanava, and Ashe. See you in the next one. Bye.